Hey, what's up, guys? Tugi here, back again, finally, with another episode of my Toronto Blue Jays Franchise Mode series, right here on MLB The Show 18. Now, as far as why there has been a delay, I direct you to the most recent Seattle episode. I talk all about it. I'm sorry for it, but I'm sure if you listen and have heard, you would understand as to why. That said, I'm happy to be back, but it's a little bit bittersweet to be back, as, yeah, we're dealing with the aftermath of losing to Cleveland in the first, really in the first round. Of course, we didn't have to play through the wild card. Might as well have been the first round. The ALDS, if we want to be specific. And as far as the direction for this team goes, I have no idea. Of course, we have some players that underperformed, whether in the regular season or in the postseason. Hendricks, Rosenthal, Givens, and Alvarez are the main pitchers that I am concerned about. And, of course, we had some players that, position-wise, of course, underperformed. You get the point. I don't need to point them out. You already know them. Duffy, Polanco, Peralta, Solarte, Miea, but we're going to keep them. There's going to be a lot of changes. A lot of changes to this team. Do I know exactly what I'm going to do? Absolutely not, as the Angels beat the Cubs in the World Series. You get a full look at the bracket there. They won it in 7 games. Cleveland lost to the Angels in 7. I don't know what we're going to do here. After winning the division this year, you almost don't want to make too many changes, as Cosart was World Series MVP. You almost don't want to make too many changes, but I feel kind of stuck in a way that we have to, as our pitching coach retired there. We're also going to have some offers to deal with. Howell, Napoli, Pierce, and Doug Thompson all retire. Any Hall of Famers? Adrian Beltre, who finished 5 short of 3,200 hits. There are the initial negotiations that we're going to have to take care of, and there's a couple of interesting ones. As far as a pitching coach, who do we have? Now, of course, there's always the topic of conversation, I'd say, as far as, do you take a pitching coach who's a -1 control but good at everything else, or do you look for a coach who has no negatives whatsoever? Unfortunately, I think we're going to have to go for the -1, just because there doesn't appear to be that one coach who has no negatives. So who was the -1 to control? Parker Cross. I think Parker Cross is going to be the guy. I'm only going to look to sign him for 2 years, just, enough to make sure that he signs. Let's go up to 1.8. Is that enough? Yes, it is. All right, so that should be good enough to bring him back. From there, though, I don't know. I don't know what I want to do here. Sean Doolittle, he was good in the regular season, he was good in the playoffs, but he's 33. This is a topic that we haven't talked much about and that we need to sort out for this series, the future of this series, and perhaps the future of MLB The Show on my channel. What do we do with someone like Sean Doolittle, who I'm concerned about re-signing him at 33? Is it fair of me to re-sign him and then flip him, or in this instance, should I just let him go to free agency and try to get the compensation for him? And then if he doesn't take compensation and re-signs with us for $17 million, am I allowed to flip him then? Some people care, some people don't. It is what it is. Again, at the end of the day, this series is about trying to live up to the GM, to the GM expectations. The good news is we're right on track at that high job security, and I'm hopeful that even if we don't win the pennant, that the goals will be a little bit more obtainable next time out. We might be able to look at maybe kind of a slower build to being a true contender. Although that said, we, again, won the division this season, so you would have liked to have thought that we were a true contender. Apparently not. Sean Doolittle, though, what are you looking for? 7.6 isn't bad. I think I'd rather have Sean Doolittle at 7.6 and either flip him or risk him declining. I'm still going to look to re-sign him first. Henderson Alvarez, again, is it better to re-sign him and flip him or go for the compensation? That is the question. I'm going to try to sign him to 3 years. What can I drop that down to before he really starts to get pissed? Let's go 3 years at 27 mil, so 9 mil a year, which isn't too bad. If he accepts that, I'm good with that. He was good in the regular season. He just fell apart in the playoffs. Same for Liam Hendricks. Good in the regular season, fell apart in the postseason. I'm going to go 2 years, and we're going to bump that up to 6.2 per. We'll see if they accept. Alex Wood was just good in general. Let's go 3 years, bring him up till he's 32. And 8.3. should work. Rosenthal, someone who's just gone. He was bad in the regular season. He was bad in the postseason. I still don't think he'd get a qualifying offer, so I'm going to try to bring him back for the 1 year, and then we'll just flip him. 7.8 might do the trick. Solarte was so good early on in the start of last season, which is why we went for Tatis and not like a Trevor Story or a Paul DeJong type, and then he completely floundered the last half of the year and was terrible in the playoffs. He's still a good utility man, but holy shit, do I have no faith or trust in him at this point. I'm going to go 1 year at 2.2 to bring him back. He might get flipped. Kendrys Morales, though, at this point, he's 36. He's declining heavily. We're going to let him, Span, and Burnett go for nothing. So let's do this. Parker Cross is our new pitching coach. And we're just waiting to hear from Hendricks and Solarte. Everyone else has accepted. Just waiting to hear from Hendricks. Liam, please. Thank you. Okay, so that is taken care of. Those three will be going to the free agent list. So we are good to go. No, I would not like to stop simming. So, arbitration, Tyon, Givens, Duffy, and Schebler. Of course, we're going to have a lot of other contracts to sign, but who are the big name free agents? Chris Sale. Holy hell, are we going to have to go for him or what? Oh my god, Xander Bogaerts is also a free agent. Now, of course, last season, we didn't go for any of the big fish. We went for DJ LeMahieu, who wasn't as much of a big fish. He was okay in the regular season and great in the playoffs. This might be the year to do it, though. Chris Sale, the numbers are amazing, obviously. Nolan Arenado, 267 average, so his production dropped a little bit. And there's a lot of minuses there. Outside of the plus, the discipline, stealing it. Wow, I'm not going anywhere near Nolan Arenado. There's no way. His numbers dropped. You know, not that many fewer at-bats, 2 less games, and those attributes are starting to fall. I mean, the numbers are still good. But a 5-year deal? Absolutely not. Like, maybe a 1-year deal? Just to make sure. I don't know. Like, that's the type of deal where it's like, I don't necessarily want to sign players just to plan on flipping them. I don't have faith in Nolan Arenado. Those numbers are still really good, obviously, but that's a pretty telling warning sign. Garrett Cole, I mean, you know, the ERA hasn't been great. It's not the end-all, be-all, 17-7 record, but I mean, he played for fucking Houston, so of course he won the majority of his games. $22 million, as opposed to paying Chris Sale how much? $31. Jesus, you get what you pay for, don't you? Good lord. What's Bogaerts looking for? Actually, his numbers, a lot of positives. What were his numbers? 310 average. Man, his production improved big time. Sale and Bogaerts might be targets here. I mean, again, Arenado, I like the contact. He's very well-rounded still. But is he going to continue to drop off? I don't know if you want to take that risk. And then Garrett Cole, he's been okay, but he's been good, but is it worth paying $22 million for good? You know, when we've seen Alex Wood put up better numbers than Garrett Cole. I think I'd rather just go all in for a Chris Sale. Give him like a 2-year contract and see what happens. Billy Hamilton's also there, but of course he is just pure defense and speed first. He did hit 16 home runs last year, though. Jesus, look at how we improved from year 1 to year 2. Good lord, 50 stolen bases as well. But here's the problem. While that would improve our speed, is it worth paying him $15 million a year? I don't think it is. Jonathan Schopp's also there as well. So I'll tell you what. From here, we're going to pause really quick. I'm going to go through the free agent list. We're going to look for prospects and the best players available, and we'll sort it out from there. All right, guys, so a quick update on the free agent front. As far as any prospects go, there's one gem, that being Lester Martin. 70 overall at 21 years old with that B potential. I'm really hoping and really hopeful that we'll be able to get a hold of him. And then 2 minors, Zepeda and then Jalen Ortiz, who admittedly I would probably flip. From there, though, starting pitching, it's just down to Sale and Cole, which pretty much means it's just down to Chris Sale. Relief pitching, Dellin Betances and Addison Reed are both very good options. You also have some older options that I'm a little bit more wary of, that being Nick Vincent and George Contos, who were amazing last year, but I just don't like signing players once you get to that 33-year-old to 35-year-old range. It really feels like they could drop off sharply at any point in time, but Reed and Dellin Betances could both be good options. Betances struggled in year 1, was much better in year 2. Addison Reed has been consistent over these first 2 seasons, so I feel like I'd probably rather go for him. Closers, there's nobody. Catchers, there's nobody. At first, we have Jose Abreu, which, you know, some of the attribute changes are okay, but he's 33, and his numbers dropped off. Now, he did miss 44, he played in 44 fewer games. His numbers dropped off. I'm just not sure if that's worth it. To pay Jose Abreu, 7.9 is not that bad. If he was willing to accept a 1-year deal, that could be pretty damn good, especially considering we need to look for a new first baseman. Of course, we have the option to move Vlad Jr. over, but Jose Abreu might be worth it. I'm going to monitor that situation with him and kind of see what the offers are looking like. But like I said, I'm nervous about signing someone in that age bracket. Second base, of course, we have Jonathan Schopp, and it's the same kind of thing where he could be worth it. His numbers have been great. His production dropped off a little bit from year 1. Okay, maybe by a little bit. 12 home runs and 20 RBIs in 1 fewer game, but a lot less at bats. He could obviously be a very interesting pickup for us. At third, again, I've already talked about Arenado. Anthony Rendon could be interesting, but a lot of minuses, and the numbers dropped off a little bit. I'm just a little bit worried about those minuses, though, and the fact that he's 29 and we're already seeing certain attributes decline. I'm not entirely sure. If I was going to go for an infielder, I'd probably rather go for a Jonathan Schopp as opposed to Rendon. And then, of course, there's Xander Bogaerts. Now, Didi Gregorius as well. A couple of minuses, and the numbers dropped off. The numbers actually did relatively well. The average dropped off, but he hit more home runs and hit more RBIs. But again, I'm a little bit worried about those dropping off attributes. Down to an 82. The potential's down as well. So Rendon, Didi Gregorius, Abreu, not bad options. But it would almost make more sense to just go for Xander Bogaerts. Move Vlad over to first. And, of course, we have Bichette and Tatis as well to help fill out that infield. And, of course, Bogaerts is just a monster. In left, there's nobody. In center, we actually have some intriguing players available. Billy Hamilton, of course, intriguing for certain reasons, and the fact that he actually hit 16 home runs the prior season is pretty ridiculous. Adam Eaton's not terrible in the prior season, 278 average, but obviously 31 and declining. Aaron Hicks as well. He's okay. Austin Jackson was really good last year, but, 33, some numbers are declining. And same for Adam Jones, pretty much. And in right, you have Yasiel Puig, who's an 83. The attributes are looking good. 97 durability, but he missed a lot of time last year. And that concerns me. Maybe it concerns me more than it should, but he missed a lot of time last year. So I don't know what to believe. The fact that durability is going up, or the fact that he missed a lot of game time. Was it just unlucky, or is this game going to screw me over if I sign him to a half-decent contract? So we have some players that we are looking at, and potentially some big money that we are looking to spend. So just to kind of update you on that situation, what we're going to do is I'm going to go through, I'm going to try to re-sign everybody that I can, and then we're going to flip some people to make room cap-wise. So let me do that, and in the meantime, I can actually try to decide who I want to sign, if anybody. Alright, we're back, and here's the deal. We've sent offers to everybody. However, there are some big money offers out there. And without having access to all of the players that we could trade away, of course, through this section here, players that we could add to a deal for somebody like a Rosenthal, I am going to wait. So there is a chance that one of the big name players that we're targeting could end up off the list, but it's a risk we have to take. We need to make the most out of trading away a guy like a Polanco, of course, in the outfield, or a Peralta. So let's see what happens here if we move forward a day. And I'm sure, a couple of our prospects that we sent offers to are going to decline based on us signing others. Nothing from Tyon, Givens, Duffy, or Schebler. Unfortunately, that didn't help out that much, and Lester Martin hasn't accepted either. But we have the only offer out for him, I'd like to think. that we're going to get him. I don't really think that helped us out that much. Thankfully, we didn't miss out on anybody. However, Arizona has a big-time deal out to Chris Sale, who we could afford. I mean, getting Chris Sale would be ridiculous. I don't know if there's any way we could possibly afford a Chris Sale and a Xander Bogaerts at the same time, though we might have to make that decision. And again, I really like Dellin Betances. I really like Addison Reed. I think I like Addison Reed a little bit more, though his numbers have been slightly better. And talking about who we would like to get rid of, I mean, again, someone like Justin Smoak has to go. He did well in the postseason, but regular season, it was rough, and his numbers are, his attributes are going down. So he's somebody that absolutely has to go. Like I said, DJ LeMahieu wasn't the biggest name. He had a pretty good season, I guess, for the amount of time he missed. He was really good in the playoffs, but it's the attributes declining that I'm worried about. And then, of course, trying to flip someone like a Solarte, who could still be useful, but no, he spurned me too much. He's the reason I went and got Tatis. I put faith in him, and he disappointed me to such an extreme extent. So I think at least those three are gone. Matt Duffy as well. Once he signs, I might keep him, I might not. Good regular season, someone I didn't plan on getting, but in the postseason, he disappeared. He absolutely disappeared. So, like I mentioned, there are players, and of course, David Peralta, good regular season, fell apart in the postseason. Some numbers have gone up, some have not. And I don't think people can forgive him and Polanco for their underperformance in the postseason, especially Polanco. Randall Grichuk as well. Some numbers are going up, but of course in the regular season he wasn't that good. Might still be worth keeping as an extra depth option, he and Schebler as well. So we do have players that we need to move. Smoke is the first one that has to go. Miea, of course, we're going to keep. We'll consider the postseason struggles as growing pains. What could I get for Smoke? And is there anybody... Here's the problem. Like, any of these prospects, a lot of them aren't signed yet. And that's kind of an issue. I could pair them with these players to get that little bit of extra value. It's not looking like that's going to happen. I'm cool with the idea of getting rid of Jose Calero. I know he's a top 50, but he's only a 55 at 20 years old. In my opinion, he's at least 20 overall points away from being half decent. He's not signed, but I do feel like he's one of the players I could potentially move. Joey Wentz is another one, where he's 23 overall points away. Not 23, he's 13 overall points away at 22. I really don't want to wait until you're 25, 26 years old for you to be half decent, and that would just be half decent at that point. So if I package together Smoke and Wentz, and if I just look for a prospect, what can I get? Anderson, Dykes, Carmona, Widener, and Schmitz, O'Neal Cruz. Nothing great. Jose Israel Garcia. Not that we need another shortstop prospect. Skelton as well, for someone I could flip. I'm not really sold on a lot of these, particularly trades to the AL. I have to wonder if I can go out and find a better trade on my own. But someone like a Garcia on Cincinnati, the value's even. Let's see. I mean, the numbers are promising at least. I might flip him, or I might not, but regardless, I'm going to trade Justin Smoak to Cincy, and we're going to clear out a little bit of that money. And I think from here, who am I really sold on? Betances, a little bit of inconsistency. I really like Addison Reed. And like I said, I think I'm going to trade Rosenthal, and I want Reed to be his replacement. I'm going to go 2-year deal, and I'm going to try to go to 5... Let's go 5-7. Try to save myself just a tiny bit of money. If he's willing to accept that, cool. Again, but that little bit of money, I mean, I'm not sure how much it's going to count in the long run. What's full value? You know what? Let's just offer him what he's looking for. And he, by far, prefers that to Minnesota's return offer. So I think I want to go for Addison Reed to be the built-in replacement to Rosenthal. I think I'm going to keep Hendricks and Givens, even though they struggled in the postseason. I'm going to prefer to keep them. And in terms of starters, Henderson Alvarez might be on the way out if I could get Chris Sale, which I think is the plan. I'm going to go 2 years. How far can I drop this? $30 million a year over 2 years for Chris Sale? I'm just going to send that idea out there compared to the 9-year deal that Arizona's offering him. Again, if this works, I could flip Alvarez and I could flip Rosenthal. I'm going to keep Givens and Hendricks. And yes, I actually have a Word document open to make sure I'm keeping track of everybody that I am considering moving. So again, infield-wise, Abreu, Shop, Rendon, Bogarts. There are some options. But I want to see if we can improve the pitching and then flip some of those guys out. So, let's go ahead and move forward today and see what happens here. We can't afford Sale, which isn't surprising. Addison Reed, however, has signed. He does drop to an 80, which I'm not all that concerned about, really, as long as he continues to perform at the level that he has. So, I know he's down to an 80, but that's only... Okay, he is a legitimate 85. So he'll bounce back up. He's disappointed about being in the bullpen, but he'll bounce back up. So that's fine. Addison Reed, welcome to Toronto. It is good to have you here. We will take a look as well at some of the other moves that may have been made, but happy to have Addison Reed on this team, and that definitely, spells the end of Trevor Rosenthal's time here. And then transaction-wise, any other signings? Free agency. We also got that prospect Lester Martin, so that's huge. And Kevin Zepeda. And Sonny Gray right now has been the only other signing. So that's huge. We got that prospect that we wanted. We also bring in Addison Reed. With that said, all right, some signings have taken place, clearly. We have until December 2nd to sign the rest of those guys who have declined. Sale has that big-time offer. If I go again, 2 years at $30 million even, what is his response to that? And then from there, I would start to worry about other players. Bogart still doesn't have an offer. Betances does have other offers out there. Relief-wise, though, 1, 2, 3. If I keep Doolittle, 4, 5, and 6, and then we get rid of Rosenthal. So we're good. If I wanted to trade Doolittle, I could, and then bring in Dellin Betances, but there's only 1 year difference, and I think I'd rather keep Doolittle. So I think the bullpen's good. We just need to get rid of Rosenthal. And then starter-wise, we're still good. Hell, even Diego Liriano might deserve an opportunity, so there might be room to trade Alvarez with maybe a Lamet or a Sanchez to make room. That's if we get Chris Sale. So we're still going to go hard here for Chris Sale. And we'll see what happens. From there, I'll worry about some of the other spots. But let's see. We can't afford them. Betances goes to the Nats, which is fine by me. And let's see, other contracts. What can we move out? We know at the very least that we can move out Rosenthal. Outfield-wise, I don't know if I see myself bringing in Hamilton or Puig. Hamilton, I'm just not sold on the hitting ability, despite his numbers in the previous season. Again, the speed would be great, but I just don't think I'm sold on that, because he'd be an everyday player, so it's not like he'd be our pinch runner. So I'm going to say no to that, and I'd rather just try to improve the team in more of a general basis. Have someone who's a bit more reliable at the plate who also has a bit of speed. Rosenthal has to go. And from there, we know that someone like Polanco and Peralta, they're both gone as well. I wonder, just for the hell of it, what could I get? Is there a team? I could get the rights to Jonathan Shop is what I could get. Unless they re-signed him, which they might have. Martinez and Moustakis. I just wonder, Taylor Trammell, Sal Romano, and Scooter Gennett. Is there a team? Paul DeYoung. Is there a team where I could just dump this salary? Reese frickin' Hoskins. Oh my god. Well, I don't think I can decline that. Hoskins, Herrera, and Avisail Garcia. 3 outfielders. Oh my god, Philly. I don't think I can decline that. An offer for Reese Hoskins. Victor Robles would be cool and all, but, holy shit, Philadelphia is willing to exchange their outfield for mine, basically, which, Peralta and Polanco on paper, they just did so bad in the postseason. Hoskins, Herrera, and Garcia, and we'd be saving money. Or we just dump all the salary onto the Nats. That's the deal right there. Let me take a look at these players here. So Hoskins, 29 home runs, 83 RBIs. The average dipped a little bit, but who cares? Down to a B potential. Contact versus lefties dropped, but the power, man. Holy shit. Doesn't help in the speed department whatsoever, or the fielding department. But who knows? Maybe we could even set him up as a DH. I should have gone the other way around. Herrera also doesn't help much in the speed and fielding department. He's a little bit better. How did he do last year? Hit 300. 17 home runs, 79 RBIs. Good Lord. All right. 17 stolen bases as well. And then Avisail Garcia, declining a little bit. Still did relatively well. Right. That is ridiculous. Do you have anybody else that I'd be interested in? Kingery's not signed. Santana. I mean, yeah, I feel like that's the trade. Jake Arrieta has 1 year left. Yeah, his ERA was up a little bit too. I feel like I take that deal. It works out as to where we save a little bit of money, and we get Rhys frickin' Hoskins. 3 years left on that deal. 1 year, and then the final year for Garcia. I'm a little bit worried about Herrera, in the fact that he's much better against righties. My main thought here is Herrera and Garcia could be flipped. The big get is Rhys Hoskins and that power. And getting rid of the Rosenthal contract, and then Polanco and Peralta, who both had good regular seasons. Polanco was okay, Peralta was better. It's bringing in Rhys Hoskins and that home run power to replace what we'd potentially lose with Peralta. I'm going to do this. I think I'm going to do this. Rosenthal, Peralta, and Polanco to Philadelphia for Hoskins, Herrera, and Garcia. No guarantees that Herrera and Garcia stay, but the big get is bringing Rhys Hoskins to Toronto. Damn. And like I said, that could be our replacement at first if we wanted to. We still have some big decisions to make, but that was one of the first. Is there anybody else that I'd like to move out? Solarte, you burned me too badly. Duffy hasn't signed yet. Of course, we have the three-headed monster at short. Herrera, Verdugo, Garcia, Grichuk, Schebler. I might keep Randall. He had an okay season, but he's improved a lot. And then starters, again, I'd like to move someone. Actually, in fairness, Lamet or Sanchez. Henderson Alvarez had a really good regular season. Kind of struggled in the playoffs. Lamet, Sanchez. Sanchez was better. Lamet's not signed. Sanchez is. If Lamet was signed, I'd flip him right now. Is there anybody else that I have here? Be worth getting rid of. 23 being a 66. I'll keep you. Danny Barnes. There really isn't anybody else that I want to flip. What can I get for Solarte? Probably not much. But even if there's just like one decent prospect, which there is not. Alan Ferris. That's actually a half-decent deal there from Miami. I mean, I don't expect any of these guys to end up being half-decent, but I am going to take that. So, yeah, Miami, there you go. Have Solarte. We'll free up a little bit of space. Let's see what the situation is now with Chris Sale. Again, we'll offer him the same thing that we've been offering him, and whether or not I'll let that go through. Relief, of course, there isn't anybody else that we want, with Betances off the market. At first, I don't really see why we'd need a Abreu. Shop is off the market. He went back to Baltimore. Rendon's still on the market. Bogarts is on the market. Didi. And then in the outfield, it would just mainly be Puig that I'd be concerned about. So let's move forward. Again, still the Sale deal is rough. Duffy still hasn't signed. I need some of these other guys to sign. I really do. Any other major signings that we have to worry about? Acuna, Sanchez, Severino, Devers have all re-signed. So nothing crazy. Okay, just Givens and Duffy there. Need some of these other guys to re-sign. So let me offer them a little bit more money. Oops. Make offer. Just offer you guys a bit so I can potentially flip a lot of you. That's pretty much what that comes down to. And again, Sale has no offers. Let's move forward another day. Alonso, Brandt, Stellabot. Really? Wow, everybody declined there, huh? I don't know why. How much money do you want me to give you? How about 150? Again, 150 is just going to be the standard number that we throw out here, because why not? Or 140, that's fine. So, Free agent-wise, we're still okay. Givens and Duffy really need to accept as Nolan Arenado goes to the Diamondbacks. That should take them out of the Chris Sale running. I know the offer had already disappeared. We just need to wait for Givens and Duffy. Which, I mean, we have time. I am going to offer them a little bit more. So I went 2 years at what, 4 per? Or just 4 million total? Really, I went down to 4 million total? Jesus. 2.1 would be ideal. Oh, I guess that's why. Alright, well, let's bump it up to 2.2. And then Duffy, drop that to 1 year. 2.5. I don't even know what I dropped that to. What would make him the most happy? 2.7. Alright, hopefully he accepts that. Move forward a day. Still nothing. Move forward another day. Still nothing. Come on, boys. You're killing me. Alright, he's Givens is accepted. What about Duffy? Duffy still hasn't, but we're okay. We have until the 23rd. Free agent-wise, a lot of the big names are still there. Let me just take a look. Free agency, so Arenado's gone. We ended up getting Jalen Ortiz as well. Puig went to the Rockies, so he's off the board. That's okay. Of course, we could have signed him and flipped somebody else. Rondon, Terrence Black. All right, so for the most part, everyone's still on the board, including the big names. Let's move forward another day, as we're good. Everyone's re-signed. What are we at now money-wise? Yeah, we can't afford Sale, although if I drop that to 2 years... Yeah, we can't afford Sale right now, but we could make moves. Bogarts as well. So I can only get one or the other between Sale and Bogarts. And I'd probably rather get Sale, because our infield's already looking pretty damn good. I feel like if I move a Urena, I can still get... Like, if I move a starting pitcher, I feel like I could get a better infielder than if I move an infielder, one of our shortstops, for a starting pitcher. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but that's just my assumption. Again, Abreu at first. How much was he looking for? 7.9. It's not bad. Hamilton was still looking for a ton. And to be honest, I mean, yeah, Rondon's off the board as well. Okay, so Rendon is off the board. So we have Abreu and one of the two big names. Which, I mean, again, I could bring in a Jose Abreu. Not really sure what we want to do with him. I mean, between LeMahieu, a Duffy, like, I feel like we have options there. So I'm going to take LeMahieu off the board. It comes down to one of the big names. It comes down to Sale or Bogarts, and whether or not we go after one of them. And really, it makes sense too. It does. So let's see what we can do here trade-wise. And again, between Lamet, wow, Lamet is so cheap. I didn't realize I signed him to that cheap of a deal. So again, he wasn't great. It was his first year back. Do I ditch Lamet? I feel like I could ditch Sanchez, bring in Sale, and then also ditch Lamet. Or, because, I mean, our starting pitching let us down. I mean, everybody let us down. As far as the plan here, infield-wise, I mean, you know, between Bichette, Urena, Tatis, Vlad Jr., Duffy, and LeMahieu, someone's going to have to go anyway. And then the outfield, there's also a little bit of a logjam as well. The good thing is we have a lot of good pieces that could be moved. Duffy's on 2.7, LeMahieu on 12. Could be worth moving. And I am a little bit worried about some of those negatives. He stepped it up in the postseason, though. And then we saw what happened with Tulo, where he stepped it up in the postseason, we kept him, and then he did really well, but he started to decline a little bit more than what made it worth, you know, keeping him for. So, I don't know. Aaron Sanchez, I think you're gone, buddy. One way or another. One way or another, I think Aaron Sanchez is going, and that could free up the money that we need to pull this off. I'm going to pair him with Calero, who I have no faith in developing. Again, he's 20 points away. How old is he going to be by the time he reaches 75, if ever? Same thing for Jalen Ortiz. Just don't have faith in those two to develop. But if I pair them with Sanchez and just look for prospects, who can I get? Villalobos, I don't really want to send him to the AL. Sosa and Spence, Ernie Quintana, there we go. 20A and a 63. Can anybody beat that? 22A and a 67. Taylor Trammell, I like Quintana. Trevor Rogers, 22A and a 67. Eliezer Hernandez as well. That's not bad. That's better than Cortez. AJ Puck. Can I get anybody better than a Cortez back in this deal? If I can, then holy shit, we're in the money. So let me look. Where the hell is he? Wow, he's way up there. Okay. 19 years old, though, too. He was pretty good. He's pretty good for someone of that age. So let's see. Younger players. He's not signed. We'd have to offer them more. So there's Cortez. Ton Nobles isn't signed. Yeah, I see now why it was Cortez. Because they don't have any of their other prospects signed. Quintana. Is there another B potential guy? No. You know what? I'm good with it. Screw it. We'll take Quintana. It's fine by me. 67. Or Cortez and Quintana. I'm going to do that. Aaron Sanchez, have fun in Milwaukee. We'll take Quintana. Make it work. We dump some salary. We dump 2 prospects who aren't going to develop. That works for me. Now can we get Chris Sale? Like I said, I like Bogarts, but having a true ace that we can believe in would be oh so valuable to us. And of course, he's an absolute workhorse. Let's see. 2 years. Again, I'm going to drop it down a little bit. $30 million on the nose. Can we make this happen? If not, I'm going in for Bogarts. So, is this going to work? We just outright can't afford him. Oh, boy. Which sucks, because, you know, it is showing that in a way it can work. It's really close, though. Of course, I do still have other players we could ditch. And then what about Bogarts? I'd be cool with a 5-year deal for him. We couldn't drop it by that much, though. I wonder if either could possibly accept. Not for Sale, not for Bogarts. Ooh, man, we would have to move another big deal. We would have to move another big deal. It would have to be the $9 million of Henderson Alvarez, who crumbled in the postseason. It would have to be the $12 million of DJ LeMahieu. It's one of those two, because no one else is making that much. So do I want to ditch Henderson Alvarez at the peak of his value in efforts to replace him with Sale and then have Diego Liriano be a starter this year? Or do I want to ditch LeMahieu? I don't want to ditch LeMahieu. Henderson, you got to go, buddy. You gots to go. We can move Cabrera, who I have no faith in developing. And is there anybody else I can add to this deal? Just looking for any of those other prospects who I just don't think will make it. Jesus, we have so much depth at shortstop right now. Verdugo might be worth flipping in a way. All right, we'll just look for these two. Can I get a prospect out of this? Spence and Dakota Hudson. Not bad, but not great. Tyler Male, perhaps, and Jeter Downs. Great name, but no thank you. Giovanni Chavez. There we go. 20 years old, A potential in the 64. Braxton Garrett's. Ooh, never mind. I like Chavez, but getting a closer and Braxton Garrett at the same time also sounds pretty good. Good chance that Chavez will improve more than 3 overall points in 2 years, but I have to take this deal, so thank you very much, Miami. We'll shed some cap, some salary, and now, I think, finally, we should be able to afford this deal. It's still going to be really close, but that should work. No, it isn't. How? How are we not that close? Let me have this. Don't show me that the money works and then tell me, no, the money doesn't work. It works. We can clearly afford it. What if I drop it down even further? Like just, Chris, when do you get to a yellow bar? There you go. Chris, what do you think? $26 million a year? How's that sound? I'm lowballing you here, but no one else is offering you shit. Why can I not? Oh my god, Garrett Cole just signed with somebody. I backed out of it accidentally. Oh boy. Well, as it stands, we're kind of in trouble starting pitching-wise, unless I want a Murillo to stay. What if I go for Xander Bogaerts? I probably can't afford him still either. What if I lowball Xander Bogaerts? Will you let me do it then? Like, I'm talking like a lowball Xander Bogaerts. I mean, if I could sign him, then I could trade someone like Urena to bring in a starter. It wouldn't be Chris Sale, but we'd have Xander frickin' Bogaerts. So what if I go to 25 mil a season? Can I afford that? I can. So I can't afford Chris Sale, but I can afford Xander Bogaerts. But there's a better offer out there from Miami all of a sudden, even though I dumped a bunch of cap, or salary I should say, onto them. I'm just going to see what happens here. And Bogaerts went to Miami. You notice how they weren't interested until I sent an offer, and that's because, hey, screw you for dumping all the salary onto us. Chris Sale, please now, this has to work. Help me, Chris Sale, you're my only hope. Like, can I please sign this deal? What about a 1-year deal? Even just a 1-year deal. Son of a bitch. And Billy Hamilton signs with the Royals. All right. We need to make this work. Abreu has offers as well. I can't believe this isn't working. Like, this should work, though. Shouldn't it? Like, what am I missing here? About not being able to afford this. What am I possibly missing as to where it's not letting me afford this? What if I got like 22 million even? Is that possible? Okay, so that's possible. 22 million works. Let me withdraw the offer. Like, what's the lowest I can offer him as to where it'll still go through and there might be a chance of him accepting it? That's the question right now, because I really don't want to move anybody else until we know the full picture. What about 22.5? That still works as well. Cool. So let me make a new offer. This is so tedious, but I don't understand what's wrong when, you know, the app, like, I don't understand what's wrong here as far as why this isn't going through, right? So let's go 23.5. Let's jump it up a little bit as to not be so tedious. 23.5 still works. What the fuck is the magic number here to be able to sign Chris Sale? I don't get it. I know the easy solution would be move out LeMahieu, but I don't know if I want to do that. So let's see. So 25.5 is where I was going. Let me go 24.5. Is that too much? It is. Okay, so 24.5 is too much. Good to know. Let me go back to free agency. 2 years, and we'll drop it to 24. And that's pretty much all we can do, unless I move out somebody else, which I'm not sure who that would be. I'll give him a player option to sweeten the deal a little bit. Will Chris Sale sign with us? Is the question. Chris, I'm begging you. You have no other offers? Come on, Chris. Come to Toronto. Come to Toronto. Yes, we made it work. Chris Sale, we have our ace. After all of that, it's going to backfire in my goddamn face, but I'm good with it. Chris Sale, welcome to Toronto. And what an off-season this has been already. You look at the rotation now with Sale, Tyon, Alex Wood, Denilson Lamet, and Diego Liriano. The bullpen's as strong as ever with Hendricks, Givens, Reed, Rivero, Doolittle, Hand. Catcher was still sorted. First base, it's a little bit questionable, but infield-wise, we have LeMahieu, Vlad Jr., Duffy, Bichette, Urena, and Tatis. 6 players for the 4 possible spots, so we'll see who we should go with there. And then outfield-wise, Rhys Hoskins, Herrera, Avisail Garcia, Grichuk, and Schebler. So we have some moves that we can possibly make there as well. Odds are some players are going to be moved. Perhaps the Tatis just spends the year down in AAA. We have some very good options moving forward that I am very excited to see how they pan out. Like, some very good options. This team is in a very, very good spot. For the moment, the one thing, the bright side to ending the episode here is that we would know who is, you know, we would know that we could dump some salary if we had to in trades. The positive to moving to spring training and continuing is we know the full scope of our prospect situation and who has improved. I am going to go through the Rule 5. We'll see if we can pick up anybody here, and odds are we would potentially flip them. No teams are making any pickups. Do we have anybody decent? Let's see. Pitching-wise, no. Tyler Danish, he's 25. Relief-wise, anybody decent? Probably not. Nope, no closers. I might take Danish and then just look. Wow, there's nobody available. Holy shit. All right. Well, we'll take Tyler Danish as someone who we're intentionally just going to flip. That's fine by me. And whether or not I want to take Gossett as well, I don't think I do. Nah, I'll hold off. So we'll take Tyler Danish literally for the sole reason of just flipping him. But that's that. So with that, I think... I mean, in terms of making trades, like I said, I'm a little bit worried that if we try to flip a LeMahieu or a Matt Duffy somewhere else, particularly LeMahieu, though, that we could have trouble finding an ideal landing spot because some teams won't have the salary. But I'm going to risk it. We're going to sim forward. Pedro Strop, I believe is how it's pronounced, for Melanson and Delgado. So the Red Sox picking up what looks to be a slight improvement. A slight improvement. Not really. He's younger for a reliever. And we are good to go. So to renewable contracts, Tyler Danish. Yeah, submit offer. Have a $500K offer, buddy. Fine by me. We'll renew that. And to spring training we go, where of course we'll look for some half-decent prospects in the free agent pool. But let's get a look at our scenario here. As Miea, still looking decent. Of course, he'll be our starter. Lino's looking good. Stevenson didn't really improve. Nothing really there at first. You still have LeMahieu at an 87. Vlad Jr. is a legitimate 83 who can play to a higher level. Duffy's a 77, so it's probably still worth getting rid of him. And then between Bichette, who's a 77, Urena, who's a 75, and Fernando Tatis, who's a 73, like I said, we have to decide. I still think it might not be the worst idea to run Vlad Jr. at first, LeMahieu at second, Duffy at third, Bichette at short, and then maybe run Urena as an infield depth and play Tatis at shortstop in AAA. That might not be the worst way to go. Hoskins is currently, he's an 86, who's playing like an 82 just because the lineup isn't set. So he's still good. Herrera's a 79. Grichuk is an 81. Not playing like it, though. And Avisail Garcia is a 78. So Garcia is drastically overpaid. But we have options. I wanted to give you guys a look at all the options here as far as what we could do. The main decision here, because again, you know, our starters are set. We're going to give Diego Liriano the opportunity. Even though, I mean, I think we might, yeah, we need another starter. He's not ready. He's not ready. You can look at the attributes. He's not ready. So we do need another starter. Lamette's still a concern because of the walks and home runs, the control as well. We do need another starter, but we know that we're going to be moving some players on. And I mean, matter of fact, really, Carlos Ramirez, 78, might be worth playing at the major league level, but we could drop him down to AAA for depth. So it looks like we need another starter. But we have some options, like I said, infield-wise and outfield-wise, whether or not we wanted to look for improvements, maybe get rid of Garcia, Grichuk, whatever, to make this work. So I want to know what you guys think from this point on. In the next episode, we will set up the team and we will begin simming. Maybe we'll sim through the whole season. I have no idea. But let me know what you think as a major offseason is in the books. Chris Sale has been added to the team. Not to mention the additions of Addison Reed. Of course, I mean, just goddamn the outfield. Rhys Hoskins, Herrera, and Garcia. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate the support. I'm happy to be back. Until next time, you know the deal with all the things. The liking, the commenting, the subscribing, the notification bells, the links in the description. The baseball. Yeah. Got nowhere to go with this. So until next time, have a nice, as David Vujanich says of Copa 90, and if you don't know what Copa 90 is and you're a soccer fan, slap yourself. Football. Slap yourself, most importantly, though. And until next time, as I previously mentioned, goodbye. Goodbye.